Welcome back. It's Monday here and Monday vibes are feeling like we had a great morning. We have conducted an interview for a vacancy that we have and the candidate was really good. So I was dead happy about that. And then I had a nice call with one of my clients who pays for advisory, and we do a monthly check-in to see how profitability is going and do some future planning. That went really well, and I like this time of year when things start to pick up again for people. So that was good. And today I just thought I would talk a bit about choosing an accountant and how you start that process off, because I have been walking Walter recently and listening to the Ladies Who Launch podcast, which is actually hosted by Rochelle from the Saturdays. So for all you other millennials out there who used to like the Saturdays like me, it's quite a flip to go from pop star to talking about accountants. But I was really pleased to hear that she's having those conversations with founders, and also quite interested for her take on when you need an accountant and why you need an accountant. Because if it affects businesses like hers, who are obviously a bit bigger than what we typically serve in terms of, selling to Boots and places like that, I think we see a lot of the similar problems in small business that Abacus Jack serves. Today, I wanted to cover how to choose an accountant. I think sometimes this is a really difficult choice for someone if they've not done this before, and also one of those dark arts where nobody really tells you what you need to look out for, but also quite a crucial decision because your accountant is part of your team. You need them as a partner to help drive the business forward. So I think there's a few things today that I'm going to cover, because getting this relationship right is a key part of being able to grow your business going forwards and getting the right advice as a professional service for you as well. So to kick off, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here and you haven't seen me before, then hi, I'm Antonia. I own Abacus Jack with my business partner, Andy. That makes me a small business owner and an accountant. Our mission is to help small businesses get more financially confident so that they can make better financial decisions. And then if they can make better decisions, then they can be more successful. And then that's good for everybody. I'm making this video today to give you some insights on some things that you would want to take into consideration when thinking about using an accountant or switching to a new accountant. I think typically what people do is they think, oh, I need an accountant now, and they just go Google accountant near me and they pick the top one. This could be a costly mistake if you don't get it right. And unfortunately, I've heard stories about people who've picked the wrong accountant and it's cost them thousands of pounds from getting bad advice. And that's just really hard to hear. So you need to be careful. I'll be going through some things to look out for, as well as when do you need to get an accountant. This will hopefully give you the confidence to find the right fit for you and avoid any costly mistakes. Choosing the wrong accountant can seriously hurt your business, but if you get the right one, they can save you thousands in taxes, keep you compliant, and help your business grow. So how do you tell the difference? Let's get into it. So firstly, know what you need. An accountant is a key member of your team. They help you with your taxes, financial organization, and can connect you to the right financial partners for things like insurance and financial advisors. Looking at the numbers, an accountant can help you understand how much it might cost to bring a new product line to market, or teach you how to capture your expenses so you don't miss out on tax deductions, future investment, or financing. Because if you're looking for future investment or financing, then you're going to need to have everything organized. So part of this is knowing your why. And when I say know your why, I mean What do you love about this business that you started? Why did you start it? What's the problem that you were trying to solve? What's the idea? Because when things get really tricky, the why is going to keep you going. If you know your why, then you know where you want it to go. And if you've got a vision of where you want it to go, then you can start to think about what kind of support do you need to enable that. So what do you need? Is it more time? Is it less stress? Is it more money? Because this could mean that you need support with basic bookkeeping and systems, or your tax preparation and filing, or it could be payroll support, or it could be strategic financial advice. Now, some accountants are generalists and some are specialists, so knowing what you need can help narrow your search. For example, if you let out properties regularly and you need an accountant, then you might want to search for an accountant who specialises in property rentals and sales. Or alternatively, if you have a clothing line, maybe you can speak through online forums and find out an accountant who other people use who've got experience in that specific industry. Speaking of other people and other accountants, then the second thing to do is look for reviews. A good accountant will have some testimonials and Google reviews. This is important to verify what their service is like. You don't want to waste money on a terrible service. And you can also see if people highlight things that are important to you as well. For example, they speak to me all the time, they're easy to get hold of, my accounts were accurate, they saved me some tax, they put me in contact with, and on and on and on. An accountant who's good will also have a good relationship with their existing client base. And that means they should be able to provide you with a contact of one of their existing clients for you to speak to and see what their experience is like working with the accountant. Third, let's talk qualifications. Accountancy is a regulated industry. That means that accountants have a duty to provide services to a regulated standard and format. Some accountants are chartered, for example, through ACCA or ICAEW, and that means that they can perform audits and are broadly more recognised and regulated by a chartered board. Other accountants can be licensed by someone like AAT. That's another board, but that's not chartered. And some accountants are unlicensed and regulated by HMRC. So depending on your risk profile, the size of your company, the complexity of the shareholders in your business, and if you have any investor requirements, you might need to pick a specific level of accountant. They all should be up to date on relevant tax laws, and a qualification can mean that they are held to a higher standard of ethics and training regime. 4, industry experience. So if your accountant knows your industry and they have experience in it, then they're going to understand what the common pitfalls are and how to advise you on getting around them. Whether you're in construction or service-based or consultancy, industry experience means smarter advice that's tailored to you. Because let's be honest, accountancy is such a broad spectrum of tax laws, types of businesses, that some accountants are better focusing on a certain area of expertise than other ones on others, because wider that an accountant says that they provide services for, the less specific that's going to be. And if you come up to them with a specific question, they might not necessarily have experience in resolving that issue, which is sometimes why it's better to find an accountant who already has specific experience in the industry that you work. Now let's talk technology. At Abacus Jack, we are big on technology. We love it because it keeps us really efficient. It gives us more time to speak to clients. It automates things that could cause basic errors from typing from one spreadsheet into another spreadsheet. And we use a different stack of technology to maybe what a different type of accountant would use. So for example, in Abacus Jack, we use Free Agent and Xero. And as a client, that might be interesting to you, because if you're going to be saving some money by doing your own bookkeeping, then you're going to have to use either Free Agent or Xero. Now, if you don't like Free Agent or Xero, but you want to really use Sage, then we don't do Sage. And that's fine, because there's not the right fit there and we might not be the right accountant for you. but they might go to another accountant and they don't use any technology. If they don't use any technology, do they not offer any digital document sharing and automated tools? For example, do you get automated reminders for things? How do you transfer information to your accountant? Do you have to go to their office every single time to drop something off or upload it to your client area? If your accountant is tech savvy, then this not only saves time, but it reduces errors and gives you real-time insight into your numbers. You can also get demos on some of the software, so you can have a look if you're not using it already and see if you like the look of it, or you can ask your accountant to recommend a demo so you can have a look at what they use and some training on how to use it. The next big thing when working with an accountant is the communication style. So typically accountants are quite introverted characters who love the numbers and love the data. But to be a real team player, you need to be able to communicate with your client. A big thing that I hear from customers who are coming to us with inquiries to be a client is, I don't hear from my accountant enough, or I can't get in touch with my accountant, or I email my accountant and they never get back to me. If you are a new business and you don't have a massive budget to spend with an accountancy firm and you need, a really value driven service, then email support a couple of times through the year and maybe a year-end meeting might be what you need. But if you're a more established business and you want monthly check-ins and you want a half-year meeting to discuss strategy for the remaining financial year, then you need a different flavor of communication strategy. But at a minimum, you need to be able to communicate with your accountant. Having an accountant shouldn't just be, I get a tax liability 7 months after my year end for a period that I can't remember. Because yes, that keeps you compliant, but it doesn't give you any data to work on going forwards. If you think about your accountant as one of your team members, communication is absolutely key, because if your team member doesn't communicate with you when you need them to, then you're going to get frustrated. So check, are they responsive? Do they explain things clearly without jargon? You want someone who makes you feel comfortable asking questions, because you're not an accountant. So you might not understand the language that we prepare numbers to in our regulated format. And that's okay. You should be able to ask all the questions that you need so that when you walk out of that room, you understand the business position. Your accountant should be a guide supporting you through that process, not a gatekeeper. Also, where is your accountant located? So some accountants that might be cheaper don't have a physical office and they're virtual only. Does that work for you? Are you happy doing online meetings and emails only? Or do you need someone that you can go in and see when you need to speak to someone in person? Do you have paper records that you need to drop off? If you do, and you're based in Newcastle, then having your accountant in Edinburgh 2 hours away might not be the best thing. Next, we need to think about fees. A good accountant should be able to explain to you what they're charging you, how much it's going to cost for different services, if there's anything that isn't included in that cost that might become chargeable in the future. And that value should be fair. It's like a contract between two people, and a customer and a supplier. So you don't want any surprises down the line. You just want everything opened up at the start. This is what this will cost. If there's anything extra like this, this could cost this. And it means that there's no surprises. Everybody's comfortable with anything that could happen during that period of working together. So don't be afraid to ask, how do you charge? Some might charge hourly and time-based. Some might charge monthly on a subscription base, or some might have a flat rate for services. Ask what's included. So as a limited company, you need to know at a minimum what your accounts are going to cost, your corporation tax return is going to cost, and your confirmation statement. There might also be fees for things like payroll and VAT processing or CIS deductions. So this comes back to the first point of understand what you need and then understand how much it's going to cost. And then you can ask, if you're taking a wider range of services, if there's any opportunity to bundle things in to save you a little bit of money. And then going forward, once you've found an accountant that you think is the right fit for you and you start working with them, then that accountant is going to be really close to you. The information that they're going to see in your business is like they're going to be part of your business. You'll need to trust their experience and their values so that they're giving you the right advice going forwards. And then together you want to grow the business. The advice that they give you has a positive impact on your company, and your company starts to go in the direction that you set when you have a goal. They're also good to help you when the environment changes. For example, if there are any tariff changes that affect if you're able to export to certain countries, or if you have investments and the stock market crashes, accounting can give you some advice to react to that and control what you can control. But if you meet an accountant and your gut feeling tells you that something is off, then trust it. It's not worth making that mistake. If you know what your values are, for example, honesty and clarity, and your accountant isn't giving you those back, then that might not be the best fit for you and the right person to work with you and see all of your company's financial data. Also, if an accountant you speak to is really vague about services and what you need and timeframes, then that's not a great feeling either. You should want someone who can say, these are the services that you're going to need, this is when you can expect to get them, and explain to you the different deadlines that you're going to have as a small business owner. And watch out for accountants as well that say they're going to charge you for every little thing, and we're going to charge you for ringing up and having a query, or we're going to charge you for filing a confirmation statement, unless it's already agreed that that's going to be a separate charge in your fees that you've seen where all the services are laid out. Then just watch out for that, because remember, accountants are not lawyers. We don't charge by the minute. So don't expect to be getting a really cheap monthly fee and then someone says, oh, now I've got to charge you for this, and now I've got to charge you for this, and then this is going to go on top, and then this is going to go on top, because that's not the way it should be done either. So to sum it up, know what you need and your why. Don't forget to have a look at the different qualifications to make sure they match for the size of business that you've got. Look for industry experience and recommendations in your network. Look at the tech stack and make sure that you're comfortable with the systems that are going to be used. Look for clear communication and fair fees. And finally, all good accountants should have good, strong reviews. If you found this helpful today, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more business tips and advice. And also drop a comment if you've had a good or a bad experience with an accountant. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.